Page 6, the Hokey-Pokey. A well-known piece, kind of fun. Let's see what happens. Got a lot of chords going on. At the top of page 6, they're talking about the first inversion for triads. So let's talk triads and inversions. It's no big deal. Take any triad. Let's go back to C major. Generally, we do C major because C major is all the white keys. It's easy to understand. So it's okay. We can do A minor, but a lot of times we use the harmonic minor, which has a black key. So we'll just use C major. We have triads, 3-note chords. Okay. Well, when it's in this position, it's called root position. It's every other note in the key. Because this is not every other note, because I got other notes in between here that I'm not using. But it's every other note in the key, because it's here, here, here. As long as I use those note names, it's the same chord. It happens to be a 1 chord in the key of C, or a C major chord. It's always a C major chord, no matter what the key is. It's a major third and a minor third. We'll review thirds again later. It's a major triad. As long as I'm using those note names, C, E, and G, I can use them in any arrangement. I can put the G here and the E here and the C here. It's still a C chord, or a 1 chord in the key of C major. If I use a different arrangement, let's say I put the C on top. I turn it over, or invert it. Well, now it's no longer every other note because I got 2 notes here. So it's not root position. I can do it again, put this on top. Again, it's not root position because I got 2 notes here. If I do it again, now I'm back to root position. So I keep inverting it. I invert it 1 time, that's called first inversion. Do it again, it's called second inversion. They'll get around to that later. I'm just doing it now because it seems to me like just do it all here. Now in first inversion, you have here, and you see it in the music. Look at the first measure of Hokey-Pokey. You have the G, the B, and the C. Well, put the G on the bottom. That is a G chord. You see that? But first inversion is there. So these are first inversion chords. And you'll recognize them in music because there's a bit of a gap between the top 2 notes. Where the bottom note, those are thirds. That's easy to see, but then there's a gap here. That's first inversion chords. I have found no use for it. I don't find it useful at all. I just play the chords as I can. You get used to playing these chords, and they're inversions eventually. Eventually. It takes time. That's all right. But you'll get used to playing them. Because you look at it as one thing. I see that as a G chord. And then I'm just going up. We get it at the beginning of Hokey-Pokey and again at the end. Where you get the chords and they're all in first inversion. You're just going up the keyboard. It's the same pattern. Same hand position, sort of. It's the same, the hand is in this, and you're moving around. Well, when I get this, I'm not thinking about 3 notes. Once I have the chord, I'm thinking about 1 note. And I'm holding my hand in that position, and I just let the other notes go. For instance, if I think about the thumb here, I just leave my hand there, and the other finger should behave. I'm thinking about the thumb. Or I can think about the index finger in this, the middle one here. I go and let the other hands go, or fingers go along. Thinking about the index finger, or I think about the little finger, whatever it is, and let the other hand. The idea is you should be able to think about any finger at any time, because normally we would think about the finger that has the melody, and in the right hand, a lot of times that is the little finger here. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking the little finger here, and I'm just letting the other fingers go. Now there is a danger here, so let's be careful. When you start holding your hand in one position, so here, in order to keep it there, you'll tense up. You'll go, oh, I can't move. That's a killer, don't. So to help combat that, we flex at the wrist. Hold the arm still and flex at the wrist as you're doing this. And exaggerate it if you need to, but don't hurt yourself. Up, 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 up. And you can do it. And then come down and put your hands where they go first and play it up, come up, next one, up, next one, up, next one. Take your time with this. The idea is you can't tense up with a flexible wrist. So we do it this way. Bom, 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 bom. That's how I'm doing. I'm not coming way up. It's a little one, but the point is the wrist is flexing. And I just think about one finger, and it takes care of it. It takes a little practice. It takes a lot of practice. And you should do it in both hands here. Don't go that fast. I've been doing this forever. It's the same thing. I'm thinking about one finger, and I take turns as to which finger it is, because I need to be able to think about any finger. It's important. And that's inversions of anything. You can invert any chord, big deal. Now, Hokey-Pokey. I look it over. It's a little over a page long. Treble bass clef. No sharps or flats in the key signature. We are in the key of C major. So do the scales for C major and A minor. Okay. 4/4 time signature. Right hand first. It's 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See, they split the second measure through the double bars. This beginning is just an introduction. And then after the double bars, it starts, and that's a pickup beat. But it's counting wise, it's part of the second measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now, top of page 7, second measure, it's 1 and 2 and. During the rest, you come down. Third finger. Because we're in a different position. And again, I'm flexing at the wrist for all of this. Don't use the arm on, no. I'll explain how you use the arm later when we need to use it. Right now, keep it with the wrist. That's basically the piece. The last measure, last note has an 8 VA above it, so you go up here. Okay. Left hand, we're here. 1. And reach up. That's what you're doing. So the last measure on page 7 is here. There's an 8 V8 under it. You go down. So it's here. If you don't have those notes, so you have a short keyboard, play the lowest G and C you have. If it's the same one, that's fine. Play the same one. Put the hands together, and I'll hesitate, but that's okay. It's just 1 and 2. I go through and I'll put the hands together, and then I'll go back over any trouble spots and work out any hesitations. And once I've done that, I add the articulation. The short staccatos we're flexing at the wrist. This, that's not staccato. So, yeah. I wonder if that's an error. I don't know. It seems to me like you could pretty much do them both staccato. But that's not what's written. So I'm not going to play. Those are not staccato. This is no staccato, but this is. And at the top of page 7 under the staff, it's LH staccato. That way they don't have to keep putting in the dots. They're just telling you, just keep doing staccato in the left hand. But it's not staccato on the right. Now on the third line down here, so accent, accent, no staccato. In my opinion, when you get to the fourth line down, second measure here, I would do those staccatos again. It's interpretation. And in this kind of music, you can rearrange it. You can change what you want to, but we learn it the way it's written first. And then the dynamics applies to the melody of the right hand. Moderately loud. This in the background. Soft. Soft, very soft. Third line down, soft. Now loud. With the accents, it's very loud. And come down. Soft, moderately soft. It's moderately soft. Go back up to loud. And the last note is very loud because of the accent. That's how I would do it. Now, once I have an idea of the dynamics, then I think about the speed. And this is a slow rock tempo. I've been playing it way too fast. I like to play it fast. It's slow. Now, this piece is actually a lot of times played in a swung style. Now, this arrangement doesn't say that. But a lot of times it will be done in a swing rhythm. That means instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and, you would do it in a 1 and 2 and long short, boom, you feel it. So. There are arrangements of this piece with that style. This arrangement doesn't do that. Here we're going to play them straight. Just straight eighth notes all the way through. Let the wrist collapse a little bit. Don't pound on it. I don't know. Maybe that was too fast. It's a kind of a dance. You put your right hand in and your left hand in, or your arm or something. You're putting something somewhere, and you're just kind of enjoying yourselves. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not doing the louds and softs. We're not performing it. Just the notes and the rhythms. I'll give us 4 counts. 1 and 2 and ready and go and.